lunchtime to join our Lunch and Learn event. It's first of this year event, and hopefully will be interesting and useful. And as I mentioned before, we will be doing a beach cleanup. We'll be cleaning up our lovely Sandy Mount beach. We just need to establish the date. That's the only thing. For whoever is watching this recording, if you want to drop a few ideas, what month would you like to do? We were thinking about March or April, but it all depends on weather. So any suggestions are welcome. Obviously, all our events are available on our app. Just quickly go through what's available in terms of fitness. We have on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have a fitness class at 6:15. The class takes place underneath Allianz building. You're more than welcome to join. It's a free class, and also yoga at 7:15 will be tomorrow morning. So you can also join then online at 7:15, and it's also free. And of course, we're having new events coming up in March. So all the events available to book through Elmpark Green app. And we have cycle cleaning dates released, so it's on 22nd of April, so feel free to book it. And the last thing, we have our ultimate vegan hamper to give away this month till the end of the month, so you can get a chance to sign up, which is through Instagram, Facebook and LinkedIn. You can take part in our giveaway and obviously hopefully win that fabulous gift. So without further ado, I know everyone probably constrained for time, so Susan and Richard will be leading this interesting, I think, talk, and hopefully we'll get some useful information. Enjoy it, have fun. Let me know about any ideas of the events or anything you would like to see in Elmpark Green, and enjoy, guys. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you so much. Thanks for introducing us. That was great.
Thanks.
So I'm just sharing my screen here with you. Can you see that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, sorry. There we go. Hi, so my name is Suzanne and my colleague is Richard here today. So he's just going to manage the chat box. So if you have any questions or anything, you can pop it into there and we'll answer them for you. So thank you so much for taking part in our ocean webinar today. We're just going to quickly kind of talk about Clean Coast and then kind of ask you guys a couple of questions. And then we'll talk about marine litter, why it's such a problem in Ireland, and then kind of what we can do to help and what the government and big companies are doing as well. So hopefully I'll enjoy it. And if you're watching the recording, you can always contact us if you have any questions as well. So, you know, thank you so much for taking part today. And you were mentioning that you're going to do a beach clean with us as well. So this is part of our corporate volunteering kind of program. And what we do in Clean Coast is we support community groups and we empower them to do beach cleans, to do community projects. And we couldn't do that without this corporate volunteering program. So, you know, we really are grateful that you've taken part in this today and you're going to do a beach clean. You've given us a donation and this helps fund our grants program, which helps support these community groups. So, you know, it's a full circle and, you know, it's great that you've been part of it today. So thank you very much. We also have loads of other initiatives within Clean Coast, so we try and appeal to everybody. We're not just about beach cleaning. There's other projects that I mentioned. We do like marram grass planting to help prevent erosion. We have community science projects such as the Big Beach Clean. We do photography competition every year. And then you can do smaller things like a 2-minute beach clean, or you can take part in Think Before You Flush and Think Before You Pour as well. So these are something we'll talk about more within the next few slides. And I also have a video which sums us up way better than I could. So I'm going to play that for you. Richard, let me know if you can't hear it. Hopefully it's behaving today.
We are a nation surrounded by water.
Yes, okay.
The raging waters of the River Boyne, the tranquility of Loch Corrib, the fearsome Atlantic Ocean or the Irish Sea, we are only ever a stone's throw away from the mesmerising calmness found at our waters. Ireland's beautiful coastline stretches over 3,000 kilometres and is unmistakably diverse, from sandy strands and coral coves to sheer rock faces and expansive dune systems. Ireland has seas and ocean that stretch to be 7 times larger than our landmass, and our land boasts over 70,000 kilometres of river channels, 12,000 kilometres of lakes and 850 kilometres of estuary. The coasts, our ocean and fresh waters are ingrained in our past, present and future. The strength and growth of the Clean Coast programme showcases the strong connection to our waters and seas. In recent years, we have all awoken to the issues surrounding our oceans and rivers. The fight to protect our marine environment is now on. Our Clean Coasts groups are pioneering this fight here in Ireland, with over 900 Clean Coasts groups volunteering their time to protect our coastline and ocean. Clean Coasts, at its core, is our incredible volunteers, carrying out thousands of cleanups annually and working tirelessly to protect our stunning Irish coastline. These are our advocates, our protectors, our enthusiasts, our educators and more. 2019 was a year like no other. Our events and initiatives saw more and more people being drawn to Clean Coasts as a platform for having a positive influence on the coast and inland waters. This year, on all fronts, we were met with enthusiasm and innovation. We saw our Clean Coasts groups host numerous cleanups, welcoming all and being a source of knowledge for local people. They conserved and protected the fragile dune systems, ran events that raised awareness and celebrated our coastline, rivers and lakes. Clean Coasts offers a suite of initiatives to engage new and old volunteers alike, linking environmental efforts with the love of the coast, culture and community. To kick off the year, over 20 regional Clean Coast roadshows were run, connecting communities and planning for the future. At the beginning of the summer, we called on volunteers to be part of the Clean Coasts Week, a week set out where we gathered to clean the beaches. July saw the launch of Love Your Coast photography competition for the 10th time, allowing us to revel in the amazing beauty and vitality captured over the past decade from all across the Isle of Ireland. The Big Beach Clean, an international citizen science weekend, happened in September throughout the globe, with more than 100 countries worldwide getting involved. Here in Ireland, volunteers organised and partook in over 300 cleanups and recorded marine litter data throughout that weekend. We finish off the year with a celebration of our Clean Coasts groups with our Ocean Hero Awards. The awards bring to the fore the remarkable work of the Clean Coasts volunteers and highlights the outstanding community and personal spirit found across Ireland. There is no silver bullet to solve the issues facing our environment, but as communities combine, our efforts show the magnitude that each positive action can have. Be part of Clean Coasts.
Okay, perfect. So played well. Yeah, so that just kind of sums up how, what Clean Coasts do, what initiatives we have. And obviously, we really do rely on our volunteers and community groups. So it mentioned that the video was created in 2019. So it mentioned that we had 900 groups. And then I suppose COVID hit and we were kind of nervous that, we maybe would reduce those numbers or, we wouldn't grow. And, we've really managed to keep going, and it just shows that there's passion out there. And, even with lockdowns and stuff, people were able to do, the 2K that we could walk. People were still doing cleanups in that and everything. So, it's great to see, and we've still managed to grow over the years. So yeah, it's really nice to have seen all that. So then that's enough about Clean Coasts. Hopefully you have a better understanding of what we do. And then we kind of usually ask about you guys as well. So if you just want to pop in the chat a couple of comments on the next few questions, it's just to get an idea of a few things about you guys. So have you previously heard about Clean Coasts? So we are quite a small organisation, but obviously we do have a lot of volunteers. And, we have quite a good social media reach. We're sometimes in the press as well. So just to see if anyone's heard of us before.
Yes, so both Hazel and Joyce have heard of us before.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, that's good to know. Thanks, guys. And then just, you know, we always say at Clean Coast, people protect what they love. So we always like to know if people use the coast. Have you been out walking on the beach? Have you swum in the sea? Do you do any water sports? You know, just to see, does anyone enjoy using the coast and more likely to want to protect it if you love it?
I do. I swim in the sea. I try to anyways when I can.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so it's pretty annoying when you hear of things like the contamination and stuff, and you can't swim in the areas that you usually go to. So
yeah, exactly. Like that's a perfect example, you know, like it does impact us even with stuff like that. You know, if there's an issue with the environment, yeah, we can't go sea swimming, or it really, you know, puts you off from going near the coastline and stuff. So yeah, that's a really good example. And yeah, fair play for sea swimming. I usually do myself, but I haven't been for a few months and kind of nervous of getting back in.
me too. I haven't been since about October.
Yeah, no, I know it. And now it's a bit scary to go.
Yeah, too cold right now.
Definitely, yeah. But yeah, get back into it in the summer. That's great to hear.
Both Joyce and Hazel also do walking as well. Joyce does it a couple of times a week down in Greystones or Kilcool Beach.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, so I mean, you could even take part in that 2-minute beach clean if you were out and doing a walk every day or something. You know, it's easy to pick up 2 minutes of litter is what we ask. So that would be great. Yeah, really good. And then I know we mentioned at the start that someone had done a beach clean, so that's great. But anyone else done a beach clean or be part of a group or anything? No. And then as well, the thing is, you'll probably all be doing a beach clean soon, which is good. And I know it sounds a bit like a laborious thing to do. It's a beach, you know, you're cleaning something, but it's actually really fun, and it gets kind of addictive, to be honest. And you know, it's instant gratification. You picking something up and removing it from the environment. So yeah, I think you'll really enjoy it when you get to go.
Yeah, both Hazel and Joyce did one to that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's really good. So
When we did the Novartis one in September in Sandymount, we got a lot of the locals coming up to us and saying thank you for doing it too. So that really added
exactly.
to it.
It's so nice to get that. Yeah, that happens a lot, and you feel really good. So yeah, sure that'll happen when you organize the next beach clean too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks for answering the questions, guys.
Just quick question.
Yeah, sorry,
this is Joyce. I know that when I signed up, so I was kind of looking after the beach clean for Novartis in Greystones, Kilcool last September, November, whenever we did it. I can't even remember now. It was great. But I also at the time on the Clean Coast website, I asked for details of the local Clean Coast group, because I'm sure there's one, or there was one on your map or something for Kilcool, but I never got any answer or never got any details about who to contact. So
okay. We can put you in contact with our regional officer for the area. Yeah, that's no problem.
good. Yeah,
Joyce, if you put your email, send it directly to me. I'll send it directly to the officer now, and he'll get in contact with you.
Perfect.
okay, I'll just put my email in the chat.
Yeah, perfect.
Thanks, Joyce. Sorry about that.
No, it's just, look, I know these things happen. I just wonder how many other people have kind of tried to sign up to these things, and how it's monitored, and you know, if people are good enough to put in their data, it should be followed up, because obviously we want as many people as possible out there doing these things.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's possibly just one that's gone past us. Sorry.
Yeah.
We do really try, and we usually ask people to contact us on the Clean Coast email. But yeah, we'll get our officer to get in contact with you now anyway. So
Yeah, no bother. Yeah, that'll be good. Thanks.
Thank you. Perfect. So that's great that someone wants to get involved. Thank you. And then so we're just going to talk quickly on marine litter. So this is obviously what Clean Coast is all about. I suppose we kind of want to work ourselves out of a job, really. Be great if it wasn't an issue. But yeah, this is something we'll talk about now. So sorry, just my screen. So what is marine litter? Well, it consists of items that have been made or used by people and then either deliberately discarded, unintentionally lost, or transported by winds, drainage, or rivers into the sea and onto beaches. So, we've all spoke about marine litter there, that we've done beach cleans, we want to do beach cleans, everyone's using the coast, so everyone's aware of it. But it's not just found on our coast, it's found from, all over our oceans, from the surface waters to the seabed. And it's actually been recorded in the Mariana Trench, which is the deepest part of our oceans. And I think that's like 11,000 meters deep, over 11,000 meters deep. So, we really have impacted the oceans. Marine litter is found nearly everywhere. It's not just a coastal problem, and it is global as well. It's not just happening in an island. And then between 61 and 87% of this litter is plastic. So I think we all know the issue with plastics. They take years and years to break down. And then you do have issues for, ingestion and entanglement for animals as well. So plastic is a big problem. And it's obviously something that is a huge issue in our oceans. If up to 87% is making up this marine litter. So I think when we talk about, waste and marine litter, we need to kind of understand the story behind it, where it comes from, and, why we have so much waste. So I always kind of am a bit shocked when I see these images in front of us here. I think if we saw them now, they'd almost be a bit satirical. We would maybe laugh at them. But these were kind of real images that were used as like propaganda in the 1950s. So the one on the right is from Life magazine. And they were kind of trying to promote this throwaway living. So, it was kind of producing loads of plastics and saying, look, we can use these. They're very convenient, they're hygienic, it saves you time and all these things. And you can see the propaganda on the left is about these cups. And it's, it's maybe not the clearest text, but it's saying, no more between meal dishwashing. So it's trying to kind of promote that we can just use something and then throw it away. And I suppose that's something that we maybe got very used to. And now it's something that we're trying to move away from. So we're going backwards almost again, because we've realized, we've produced a lot of waste over the time. And, if we continue the way we're going, it's expected to double our plastic production. So, it kind of has to go somewhere. And unfortunately, it does end up in our environments if if waste is mismanaged, or if it's dumped or littered. So at the moment, it's estimated that there are 150 million metric tons of plastic in our oceans. So, I can't even comprehend that number. It's huge. And, it just shows we've really, really had an impact on it. And, all this waste production has kind of entered our environment. And it's expected by 2025 that there'll be more plastic in the ocean than fish. That's really sad. Like, I think when you picture the ocean, you usually picture it full of life, and, it's very different to land, and, it's kind of a magical place. And I just think, it's sad to think that we'll have that much plastic in there, from our own doing, really. So where does it come from? We talk about all this marine litter, like how is it getting to our oceans? Well, it's not just from one source. It's not as simple as stopping it from, people littering. It comes from multiple processes, and a lot of it can be from land-based activities as well. So 80% is actually from land-based activities. So it's not just from shipping waste or from fishing or anything like that. And because there's so many different sources, it does make it difficult to prevent it from entering the ocean. We can't just put a plug on one thing and hope that it stops. It's coming from multiple sources. And then, again, talking about waste production, the story of waste, how we look after waste. In Ireland, we do produce a lot of waste per person. So this is from 2019 from the EPA. And you can see that we're quite high, these are kilograms per person of waste, and we're up at the top really in Europe, and we're above the EU average as well. So, it just means that if we're producing more waste, it's more likely that it could be incorrectly managed, or it could be dumped or littered. So, it would be beneficial if we could reduce that waste production. And then this is just an infographic to show these sources. So you can see that we do have shipping waste, things from fishing, and the kind of shipping containers that can be lost at sea. But the majority is from the land-based activities. And even litter in towns and cities can actually end up being blown or transported through rivers and wind into our oceans. So, you know, there's loads of different sources of it, and it's something that we do need to be aware of, even in inland as well. And then just a couple of impacts. So I suppose we all probably have seen these photographs of animals that have, you know, ingested plastic or they've been entangled by it. And it's estimated that it's impacted nearly 300 different species. You know, and this is from like seabirds to fish to mammals. And it also has interestingly been documented that it's moving species as well. So we have invasive species that have been moved by marine litter across the oceans. You know, and this can potentially threaten then native species if they outcompete them, or you know, if the kind of change in the ecosystem, it can really damage the native area as well. And then also recreational activities and tourism. Obviously, we mentioned there we don't want to swim if something's if, you know, we've got sewage in the water, or, you know, we wouldn't want to go to a beach if it was covered in marine litter. So it can impact tourism, and then it can also impact recreational things like boating, and it can cost a lot of money if, you know, propellers have been damaged by marine litter and things like that. So there's loads of different impacts with it as well. So what can we do? So we put together a few individual actions. I do understand that it's got to come from higher up as well. You know, big, large companies need to get on board with it, and the government needs to put policies in place. But it, you know, as individuals, we can really help make a difference. You know, consumers really do help to drive the market. So there's a couple of suggestions we put together here. So the big one that we obviously say at Clean Coast is to do a beach clean. So I know that you guys are looking to organise one, which is great. And yeah, you know, it just obviously helps remove litter from the source, from the sea. So that's amazing. And as we said, if you're interested in joining a group, or if you want to start a new group, you can register online with us. So the benefits of getting involved would be that you have support from your Clean Coast officer, you have a third public liability insurance for your volunteers, and we can help give you kit, and you'd be involved with our kind of events and grants and things like that. So if you're really interested, or if you know a community group that would be suitable for it, then you know, it's really worth getting involved, and you can register on our website. Then we were saying as well, if you're not interested in doing regular cleanups, it's not something you'd want to do, you don't want to join a group, you can take part in that 2-minute beach clean. So this is just if you're using the coast, if you're going for a walk, going for a sea swim, you can bring a little bag with you and some gloves, and just pick up a couple of items for 2 minutes. And then we just ask that people take a picture of it, share it on social media, and just help to raise awareness as well. You know, if other people see it, they might also do the same. And, you know, if everyone was doing this every time they use the coast, it would really help the problem as well. It's a very easy, good deed. And then also kind of reducing a carbon footprint as well. So obviously we don't have to do anything drastic here, but I just think if we think about it in our everyday lives, it definitely helps. So this is the carbon emissions from different sectors in Ireland in 2020. So Ireland's quite interesting compared to other European countries because our highest sector is actually agriculture, whereas most of the countries would be transport or energy. So, you know, you can really see that all the farming does produce a lot of emissions. Obviously, it's amazing for our economy, and, you know, farmers do a great job. I'm not knocking that. But I think if we can reduce certain things, like if we could reduce our meat intake, that would really help kind of reduce the methane emissions from cattle. And then if you're interested in growing your own vegetables, that helps. And you could keep some chickens as well and have a couple of eggs. Again, just to kind of reduce that production, and then obviously the shipping of the eggs or meat or whatever. Then our second largest sector is transport. So again, it's potentially thinking, can you reduce how much you're flying maybe? Obviously over COVID, we had to holiday in Ireland and people really enjoyed it and made it work. So maybe, if you're planning 3 holidays a year, you might do 1 in Ireland and just help to reduce the number of flights. And obviously public transport, Ireland's putting a lot of money into the transport sector at the moment. So hopefully there'll be kind of cheaper tickets and, it'll be more accessible for people as well. And then, I'm not asking you to like sell your car and cycle everywhere, but if you can do it every so often, it definitely helps. So it's just about kind of thinking how you can reduce your carbon footprint. And usually when you do reduce things, it helps save money as well. So it's kind of a win-win situation. And then waste as well. So we always talk about recycling in Ireland, and, whilst recycling is a really good thing to do, it's not necessarily the answer. It's not necessarily the best thing we can be doing. So I think if we start trying to change our mindset, and again, it does need to come from higher up, it needs to come from companies, and we need to be able to have options so we can buy things with less waste associated with them. But if you go into the shop even and you just think, how could I prevent waste? How could I reduce waste? How could I reuse it? And just kind of have those in your mind before thinking, oh, I can recycle. It is obviously still better than disposing of something, but it's not necessarily the full answer for reducing our waste. And a lot of our recycling in Ireland gets exported. We don't have the infrastructure to actually recycle things in Ireland. So there's a lot of kind of emissions associated with shipping it, and sometimes it's not necessarily managed very well in other countries as well. So it's beneficial if we can try and move away from recycling as kind of the answer for things. And then kind of following on from that is to go plastic free. So when I say that, I don't mean you have to run around your house, get rid of plastic and you can never buy it again. It's just trying to kind of incorporate plastic free habits into your life. So even just having a reusable water bottle, or bringing a reusable coffee cup, and we just recommend that maybe you'd write down 3 things that you could focus on, and you could try and build them as habits into your lifestyle. And even if you're just going to the shops and thinking, I could choose a plastic free alternative or something like that, it just again really helps, and it does start to drive that consumerism as well. If everyone's doing the same and choosing the plastic free alternative, shops are forced to kind of give us those alternatives, so it does really help. So then just a couple of tips we put together. So for the bathroom, we recommend things like shampoo and conditioner bars, hand bars as well. Some shops will do refills as well. So I know there's like a plastic free store in Dundrum, for example, and local health stores in some country locations as well. My parents live in Achill and they refill stuff in Westport every so often. So, some health stores will do that as well. It's worth looking into if you have one nearby you. And it just means, you can just reuse those plastic bottles and you're not buying new ones. So it's a good thing easy thing to cut down on really. And then just kind of these alternative products that have come out. So like bamboo toothbrushes, reusable sanitary products, and then these like cloth kind of makeup removers that can just be washed and reused. And you can think about maybe even making some homemade cosmetic products as well. And then kind of similarly for the kitchen, it's kind of, again, reducing your plastic. So, choosing plastic-free alternatives in your supermarket. If there's a greengrocers, they tend to have plastic-free options. And then again, these alternatives, so a bamboo dish brush, bar soaps, beeswax wraps. And again, you could have a look at refilling, maybe like cleaning products and stuff like that if you have one of those shops near you. So one of our Clean Coast initiatives is Think Before You Flush. And it's not necessarily the most glamorous topic, but basically we say that the only things that should be flushed down the toilet are the 3 Ps. So that's poo, pee and paper. And anything else should be thrown in a bin in the bathroom. So unfortunately, this doesn't necessarily happen in Dublin or in Ireland, sorry. I just say Dublin because I've done a lot of beach cleans in Dublin and seen a lot of sanitary waste. So you see sanitary waste and baby wipes, cotton buds, and that's just coming from our wastewater treatment system. So it's usually filtered out and sometimes it can just come out into the environment. So we see stuff like that on the beaches all the time. And yeah, it's just, you know, important for people to kind of raise awareness and even talk about it, say to someone, you know, we can't flush these things down the toilet. It needs to go in a bin in the bathroom. And then similarly, we have think before you pour. So again, this is something we just don't think about. You know, you pour things down the sink or you wash your plates in the sink and it goes down the drain and it's out of sight, out of mind. But unfortunately, fats, oils and greases actually harden and cool when they go down our pipes. And they kind of clump together and create these horrible things called fatbergs. So I actually have a picture of you here. And this is like a huge fatberg. Some of them are even bigger than this. And obviously you can see that they just create huge blockages in our wastewater treatment system. And they can be just full of food and horrible chemicals from cleaning products and stuff. So they're not good for the environment either. I'll get rid of that. But yeah, so what we ask really is that, you know, if you are using a lot of oil for cooking, that once you've finished with it, you can wipe it out with a kitchen towel and put that into your compost. Or you can let it cool, you can let it harden, and again, you can just scrape it out and put it into your compost bin. And it's just, you know, better than it going down a drain. And it actually sometimes can cause problems for your household as well. You know, if your drain's getting blocked up, it's potentially something like that. So it's actually really helpful for your own household and for the wastewater systems and also the marine environment. So yeah, so we've been talking about individual actions, but I did mention that obviously we have kind of, it's got to come from higher up, it's got to come from governments and from larger companies. But in Ireland, we are moving in the right direction. There are some good news stories, so we'll end on a good note. So we can now recycle soft plastics in Ireland. I think there were a few teething issues with this. And obviously, as I mentioned earlier, it does have to be exported. It's not recycled in Ireland. But it's great that, you know, we now have that option. You know, sometimes you go to the supermarket and you have to buy something that's wrapped in plastic. You know, there isn't an alternative. So it's great that we can now recycle that. And, you know, again, it's not necessarily the answer to all our problems, recycling, but it's a great option to have for sure. And then we also have this waste action plan that's come out from 2020, and it's moving us more towards the circular economy. So at the moment, we mentioned earlier this throwaway living, and you saw the images from 1950. And what we do is we buy an item and we use it until we don't need it anymore, or until it's finished, it's at its end of life, and it becomes waste. And that's that linear economy of, you know, having something and using it and it's gone. And it's treated as waste once we put it in the bin. The circular economy is kind of trying to see, can we, once it reaches end of life or once we don't need it anymore, can it be sent back to the manufacturer? Can it be reused? Can it be repaired if it breaks? And it's just trying to reduce that waste and treating things as, you know, something useful. It's still a resource. If, you know, if my laptop died now, you know, maybe people could take parts out of it. It could be recycled. Could it be repaired? It doesn't have to just go and be waste or be recycled. You know, it could be reused again. So I think a lot of companies and businesses will be under pressure now to change their business model to fit this circular economy. So we'll start seeing a lot more changes in that, which is great. And I think even at the moment, if new legislation's coming in, I think a lot of it is trying to take this circular economy into account. So yeah, I think once we get more of that happening, it will start changing people's mindsets as well, which is great. And then we also now have a ban on a lot of single-use plastics. So these are things like straws, cutlery, and the cotton buds. If you do see them in the shops, shops are still allowed to sell their stock that they have, but there won't be any new productions of it. in. I think it's across the whole of Europe now, which is great. And basically you'll now probably see if it's, this cutlery, it'll be bamboo cutlery, or we might have paper straws and, the kind of paper earbud things now. So that's great as well, because as I said, we were finding these little the cotton buds, but the plastic ends of it, we're finding them all over the beaches. So hopefully in, the next few years, we'll really see a change in that as well. And then there's going to be these deposit return schemes as well. I think that's coming into place this year. But Lidl did launch a couple of pilot projects just to see how it worked in Ireland. And obviously it's been successful. So we'll hopefully be seeing it in loads of different supermarkets across the country. And it just means that, these bottles or aluminium cans are getting reused or recycled properly, which is great. And then finally, we're going to have a levy on disposable coffee cups as well. So it just means that we'll be paying more if we're going in without the reusable coffee cups. So it hopefully will encourage people to start bringing the coffee cup. And, I think these are something that it's really hard to recycle them. We do have more compostable options, but it's great if we can just reduce that waste and people are bringing the reusable cups with them. So there is some good news, and we are moving things in the right direction as well, which is great. And I think when things come in as policy, it really does make a difference. Even from beach cleaning, you can see now we don't really get, the plastic bags, because Ireland brought in the policy that people had to pay for the bags. So, in other European countries, or other countries across the globe, you can see really high numbers of the plastic bags because they don't have that in place. Whereas in Ireland, it's not one of our top items at all. So I think when, these policies do come into place and, when levies are applied, it does really make a difference. So hopefully we'll see good changes in the next few years. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions or anything, you can let me know. And again, if you want to get involved, or, if you're watching the recording and have questions, you can contact us via email or on social media as well. Sharon. There we go.
Thanks, Suzanne.
Thank you so much.
Is there any questions, guys? Or
well, thank you so much, first of all, Suzanne. It was really interesting, I have to say. I actually took a few screenshots for myself. I think it's very interesting to know what to throw and how to substitute day-to-day items, what I want to say, it's would be really good if Elm Park Green kind of can join as an entity for the regular, maybe going forward cleanups if our beach clean will be successful. It's something maybe we will be thinking and doing or encouraging our tenants to do. That's I don't know if it's possible to do that as a company rather than as an individual. I don't know if you have companies.
Yeah, no, we would. So in my kind of main work, I would be the office for the Dublin region. So what we could do is when you kind of get established and you might have some kind of volunteers that want to get involved on the community cleanups that are already kind of taking part. Mm-hmm. We have a mailing list I could add you to, and each month it kind of details all the different cleanups, and then all people have to do is just turn up and join if that's suited.
We maybe want to kind of establish one, I don't know, a day per month or every
as yourself.
Yeah, yes.
Perfect, yeah.
And well, of course, going forward after our beach clean as Elm Park Green. But I think it's a great idea to get, because I know a few tenants here. I go on regular runs around Sandymount Beach, so I'll see a few of our tenants. They actually do a beach clean on regular basis, especially during summertime. When lots of people spending their time outdoors. So I know there will be a few residents who would be interested in doing this on regular basis. So maybe once a month or something like that. So
yeah, no, perfect. If you want to kind of self-organize as well, we're happy to support. So whatever you think, kind of just come back. You have our contact details. Just come back to
Yeah.
us and we'll support. In
I
any way
think
possible.
it's a great idea and great people, get people involved. And maybe hopefully soon we will be able to arrange maybe actual live event for someone to come in and have a little chat, you know, here. So it's just like down the pipeline. And
yeah, I think that'd be nice to do, definitely. Mm-hmm.
But thank you so much. I'm not quite sure. Joyce, do you have any questions before we switch off? Thank you so much.
No questions. Just a thank you to Richard for supplying the link to the YouTube video and for putting me in touch with Aidan. I got your email. Thank you. And yeah, you know, fantastic work. Well done, guys. And I think, as you say, the more we practice what we preach and we act as ambassadors and examples to other people, then the better. Yeah, you've definitely even inspired me just to pick up more, as you say, the 2-minute thing when I'm on my daily walks. It's I do see things, and especially I think since I did the beach clean myself, I spot things more, you know. I think, oh look, there's another constantly. And I'm a dog owner, I'm a complete dog lover, and it infuriates me because one of the biggest things that I found when we did the beach clean was the bags of dog poo, not just the dog poo. The people go to the trouble of putting it in the bags, and I've done it myself. I've hung it off fences and things like that because you think you'll collect it on the way back, and I do. But the number of people who just leave it there and it's left and they forget to pick it up, and yeah, I'll be better at picking up their bags in future and bringing them with me, I think, because it's important. So thanks a million. Really lovely, really good stuff. Yeah, lots to think about. As I say, I keep trying to educate my girls. I'm getting better. My husband's bringing his keep cup now to get his coffees every day. So even the little things help.
Yeah, they definitely do. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. And if you're interested in doing 2-minute beach cleans, we can send you a pack as well with the tote bag and gloves, so you can just have them in your coat pocket, and you know.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Like to receive one, yeah, I can.
Yeah, I'll keep them with my dog stuff, my dog leads and my dog bags, and yeah.
Perfect. If you want to send your address to Richard, even I can send one to you in the next few weeks, if that's okay.
Super. Thank you so much. That'd be great.
No problem.
Thank you, Joyce. Thank you for joining.
No problem at all.
It was good to hear you.
I know, because we're on Zoom. I don't have my camera on, but yeah, I'm sure you've seen enough of me, Julia.
No, I haven't. Not at all.
All right, guys. Yeah, listen, great initiative, and I've already put up the link to that video onto our Green Team's space just to get it a bit promoted out there. See if we can do some stuff.
Perfect. Thank you.
Perfect.
And,
all right, guys.
Sorry, before we disconnect, 2 minutes clean. I wanted to. Is it possible to organize more bags so we have it available for Elm Park Green, or is it only one bag available per person?
Yeah, we've actually closed registrations, which is why I said I'd just send it to Joyce. But they'll be opening again in March, so I can send the link. Or if you want to tell me how many people you think would be interested, I can definitely.
No, for 2 minutes, 2 minutes clean, the bag.
Yeah, 2-minute beach clean. Yeah. So
okay, all right, okay.
Bag and yeah. If you want to send me email or the Clean Coast email, we can let you know.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Susan.
We can organise that anyway, Julia. Myself, the three of us can organise it on a separate.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Super. Thanks so much, guys. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you again. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.